Guys, welcome back. I don't even know what number it is, but I'm going to randomly say episode 6. Am I close?
I think you are, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
No, it's not.
Okay, we count episode 3 and part 1 and 2
No,
as
that
two.
was hold on. So we did 3.
Are we on 6?
That was 4. This is 5.
Okay, but what about episode 3? That 1 and 2.
No, that was just episode 3, don't it?
So we're not stat padding.
No.
Damn.
All right, fine.
Guys, welcome back to episode 5 of the Figuring It Out podcast. I'm your host, Evs. To the left of me, I have West. Left of him, I have Sharp. And finally, last but not least, my brother, Izzy. Sharp always a little snigger.
You know what's bad? Because I find it, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Before we start, I got something for you lot. But it's not from me. Little disclaimer, yeah. It's not from me, innit?
All right.
I'm the delivery man.
I'm eager to know now.
The delivery man. Who's this? My brother West. I'll explain in a second. All will be revealed. My brother Evs. Pass that along.
What is this?
This is from my little cousin, Amira. So shout out to Amira.
Shout out.
She watches the show. She likes
Appreciate
it. And
that.
she wanted to give you lot a little something.
Oh, that is
Oh,
cute,
yeah.
bro.
Oh, that's
So,
beautiful.
Wee.
Oh, that is
A
good.
little something, innit?
Can we
Nothing
open it?
major. So
That is something major,
Nah,
bro.
that is very. Hey.
so shout out to
Hey.
Amira.
Hey.
What's the name? Amira, you said?
Amira.
Amira. I love
Amira,
Amira.
yeah?
Appreciate
Shout out
that.
Amira, hey, thank you, Amira.
She
We
wanted
appreciate
to
that, man.
give you lot a little something.
Now, we appreciate you
Get me,
watching the show.
show the camera.
Hey, that is
Put that out
beautiful.
there, wallahi.
Wallah, that
Yeah,
is
she nice you lot off. I can't lie. She watches it. She likes it.
Oh, he should put that.
Yeah, come on.
that out there, that's
Saw you
beautiful.
boys out. Come on.
I'm not going to lie, I wasn't ready for that. You know?
Yeah, come on.
That's touch my
No, yeah, that's
really
not
nice,
bad.
bro.
You got a second one because they made a mistake on your one, not this one. So when they obviously they complained, they replaced it and they gave another one for free. So you got 2. You got luck. Yeah. So
Amira, thank you.
no, I'll sort you out
Thank you
later.
so much. We appreciate you for that, man.
You know,
Honestly,
yeah, let me
man.
show you something, yeah. That's how you know these two are grown men, wallahi. They both put the... look, man.
Hey, what's it called?
Coasters.
What's it called? What did he say?
Coaster. You got close though. Coaster, no?
You are-
Coaster.
That's how you know I don't use that.
You're
thing,
sick.
man.
Now, to be fair, I don't use that yard
I
either.
don't know what that is, bro. I
You're
I
sick.
freestyle. You see me? I just put shit down.
That's a coaster.
But yeah, so shout out Amira. She,
Shout out Amira, bro. That's
Yeah,
nice.
she-
Amira, thank you very much.
Love.
Much
Appreciate
appreciated.
that.
as you were.
Yeah, that's...
As you were.
As you were.
As
I
you
threw
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
man off.
Aye, that threw me off. I can't lie, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
she's
that.
a fan. She's a
I mean,
fan.
when I
She
said
likes-
I wanted
likes-
gifts-
she wanted to.
When I said I wanted gifts,
There you go. You got one. Now you got one.
Oh,
wallah.
man. All right, cool. That's a great way to start the pod. That's a positive
That's
vibe
beautiful
still.
stuff.
Always.
Now, shout out to her. So what I was going to kind of come up with was we were speaking about, world affairs and we slightly touched on local affairs.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, looking after your own village and, being able to look after the people around you that you can touch and feel. One of the main things really is parenting. So the question I ask you is, can you parent the way your parents parented you? It sounds like a mouthful in this era that we live in now.
No.
Or do you believe it has to be modernized?
Yeah,
or
No.
Nah.
And I'm
Also,
talking
like-
strictly from the physical side of things.
Yeah, no.
The physical side of things.
You can't be
You
doing
can't
that.
run that these
Nah.
days.
Because
You
you're
can't
out
run
here-
that. You can't run that.
Pick your weapon.
You can't pick your
Pick your
weapon.
weapon.
Yeah, you can't.
Okay, but forget, obviously, jokes aside, forget the idea of, the tough love of it,
Yeah.
but just in terms of just how they were in general, the parenting in general, whether it was a bit too much or whether it was, because there's a language barrier, of course, to
Yeah.
a certain extent for some people. Like if you're back from an ethnic background, that's one. So if you're coming from like Somalia or you're coming from Morocco, whatever it is. But then also, they aren't aware of everything that's happening in the 90s. There's not as much, social media outlets, whatever. So they're kind of just doing them.
Do you know, I'm not a father, so you lot have got more experience in this section. But I've always felt like if I was going to be, inshallah, one day when I have kids, right?
Inshallah.
When, I don't know about you lot, but I think it's the same because we all grew up the same. But for me, it was like school, college, uni. That was your only way. Whereas
Yeah.
we know now there's so many other
uni-
avenues
avenues
that
are
whereas they didn't know that. And it's
Yeah.
not their fault. This is all they knew because they've come from a place where they didn't even get school themselves because
Yeah.
they couldn't
Yeah.
afford it. So now when they've come in, they've had kids, they're like, nah.
That was their
I'm
priority.
going to give my kids better than what I never had.
You got to be
But now
better.
we've had that, so we also want to give our kids better than what we
Of
didn't
course.
have. But like, if my children, like daughter or son, one day grows up and says, I don't want to go uni, I won't be vexed.
alright, yeah.
The way my parents would have been
That's alright.
vexed.
Yeah.
I won't be vexed, but I'm going to say, all right, so what's your plan? What do you want to do?
Yeah, you have to have a
Where you trying to
What do you
go
wanna
down
do?
in life? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and again, I'm like, you guys can tell me more. Obviously, Wes
Yeah.
has got more experience.
West is like the most experienced.
Yeah, no,
West
that's what
was
I'm
a
saying,
bit
that's
older.
facts,
My one's
facts.
just turning one now.
Yeah, you're
So the-
learning as you
my
go
one's
at the
different.
moment.
I'm fighting a war.
I
This
see you
guy-
smiling.
Daddy of the year.
Oh, well, it's
Dad
so
of the
cute.
year.
When I see him on Snapchat, it's so cute.
Yeah, I
bro.
can't lie,
Nah,
mashallah.
do you know what it
yeah.
is? Yeah, for me, I try to be my daughter's best friends, innit? Do you know what it is? Because I think in this day and age, if you're far away from your children, like emotionally, obviously when they grow up, they're just gonna start hiding things from you. Do you
Yeah,
get what I'm
facts.
saying?
I hid everything
Yeah,
from my
same.
parents,
That's
bro.
the thing. So obviously my parents, mashallah, like the way they raised me, and everything, I'm very grateful. But like that friendship bond,
Yeah, well,
it was absent. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And not that there obviously anything was wrong in that scenario, but
Different
I feel
times,
like it's different times. It was
what-
tough.
yeah.
It was tough love because that's the way they were parented. You know what I mean? So for me, and I could always hide things from them. They would never know half the stuff that I did. Do you know what I mean? But me, you think
They
my
knew,
daughters
don't you think they knew? Not to cut you off, but don't you think they
never.
knew?
Nah, they had.
I feel like my mum
they
knew half of
haven't
the stuff I was
Yeah,
doing.
parents
bro.
know.
They
No,
have-
yeah,
they have an
yeah. I
inkling.
think it's a case of I don't want to hear it, so I'm not even gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
I don't want to hear whatever.
Bro,
Like,
they're not
pulled up
dumb.
to me.
Your
and
parents were like 18 once.
She told me one time when I think I was like 17.
Yeah, but they were 18, but they didn't do.
But
they
also,
didn't have
yeah,
access
They
to
were
what we
18
did.
in the 60s where Somalia was lit, bro.
Disco, you had the disco
They were
generation, the
lit.
golden
They had
generation,
afros and
bro.
they were dancing around and doing the most, bro.
I asked my mum,
Act like they don't know.
Sure, but I asked my
Never
mum
lied to
about
you.
it. I asked my mum, like, I said, how was Somalia back, before the civil war, whatever, innit? Yeah. And in my head, I've always assumed it was just like a really religious place or whatever. She went, no, not really, man. Like, everyone, apart from her, like, she got like 13, 14 siblings. Apart from her, like, the boys would go out to like the discos, or whatever.
Yeah.
But the way she's described it is like man being in the ends.
The
You get what I'm
out
trying to say? And
Out
it
shit.
make- but you forget, like, you're
We outside.
You're outside now, but you forget your parents were people.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you almost, but I don't see my mum as nothing else but her. But she's like, yeah, they used to go out, and even like Somali girls in general didn't really used to wear scarves until they get married. Not everyone, so I'm not saying every single one of them,
Yeah.
but it was a general trait.
Even if you look at pictures, I don't know if you see pictures. of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
parents
Just
back
see them
in
with
the
the
day,
afro,
they just
yeah.
had a
Aye.
big afro. They
The
just-
Afro. So when I look at my mum, and she said to me one time, because she's funny, she's like, Mama Evans is a character. She just went, I don't know, you think you're smarter than me? I went, yeah, I'm smarter than you. And she just chuckled and walked off. But her chuckling off, I thought to myself, she knows something I don't.
She knew
Now-
something.
But now her saying that had me rattled the whole day, bro. I didn't even step out that night. I was meant to go out, I didn't even step out.
I figure she knows something I don't. Yeah, she knows something I don't.
She's ready for the bad up. Like, she's ready for the bad up, but she weren't. But it's and I asked you to guide the question because, like, there's certain things my mum done for me specifically that I don't know about other parents. But like,
Yeah.
she always used to ask me why. So when I used to go out late, and she would say like, she used to get angry in the beginning, like, what the hell are you doing in it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But one time she was saying, okay, you went out, was it worth it? And in terms of old school parenting, that's not something we hear about. But she sat me down, no anger, no nothing, sat me down. Hey, listen, whatever you done, was it worth seeing your mother upset? And I've never had my mom hit me on that angle, but she was adapting to the times because she started to learn conversations more important than the old school bad up. And it was the first in my life because I was literally in South for Broadway, bro. I was outside the bookies at 16.
Yeah.
I don't bet. I don't smoke. Nothing.
you just happen to be-
I'm just there, but I like chilling there. After
vibe,
college,
yeah.
I used to stand outside there, innit? Yeah, and just pull off with the man the minute. Some waste man thing. But anyhow, I'll be there till about 11:30, bro. And my routine would be leave college. Leave college. Go there, bull off whatever, get myself a chicken and chips, £1.50 of them times there. None of these £8-9 meal man are getting now.
Yeah.
And then I'll go home for like 11:30, 12 or something. And it kept on happening to a consistent basis where my mum said enough is enough. She asked me, said, what did you do today that was so worth it that now your mother's here upset? And to be fair, when I broke it, I said, but I was hanging around with 5 niggas, didn't do nothing, didn't make no money, lost money because I bought food and I came home late. But the way she made my mind this trick, it was just great. And I think like the way my mom parented me, I think it translates to how I'm going to parent my son. I don't know, but then I think it depends on the extremities of how your parents, how old school they were.
But also it depends on the child as well. Like you might have a rebellious, like obviously, God forbid, not even God forbid, because I don't think it's a bad thing. But you might have a child that's just rebellious,
Yeah.
like always wants to do their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's your parenting skills and coaching skills and life.
tested.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
gonna be
that's
tested and but is
Can
it
it
like,
work then?
Say again.
Can old ways work?
Yeah.
Because the way your mothers and your
Don't
fathers...
know, I
I think
really
you
don't
need a
know.
hybrid
I don't know.
approach, though.
Yeah.
You need a hybrid
No, I'm
approach.
saying, can that specifically work? Do you think right now, mum coming in with the mentality, I'm going to parent my kid exactly how my mother and
I
my
don't think
father-
so. I don't think
I don't think
exactly.
it will
yeah,
work.
I don't
Not
think-
exactly.
Why not?
I think you can take the fundamentals.
Yeah.
You can definitely take
Fundamentals
the,
are
yeah, you
solid.
can take the
You
fundamentals.
said hybrid.
Yeah, you,
Bear in mind, I'll get you,
it
man.
has to be a hybrid approach.
There's certain things, but I just want to know, like, if we just raise our minds a little bit, how would it look trying to parent your kid? I think most of us would be arrested for hitting our kids anyhow, innit?
Yeah.
But like, how would it look, 2021 going to 2022, for example, how would it look parenting your kid exactly like the 90s? How do you think it would look?
Hella black eyes.
Ass whooping.
Bare A&E
Ass
visits.
whooping.
Just tell them you fell down the stairs. You ever heard that one before?
Go down the stairs.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know, man. I don't think, not to that extent. I think just like Westside said, it's got to be,
It's a hybrid approach.
yeah.
You have to kind of select, like, obviously the best bits of you growing up, the best bits of obviously you growing up, and also like in this generation, like the best way of parenting children, trying to get through to them. Like for example, for me, my children have got iPads. Now a lot of people feel like sometimes giving tablets is kind of a negative thing because your children are just on their iPads 24/7. But for
At the
me,
extreme cases, yeah.
yeah, but for me, it's a form of communication with them. It's also for me like giving them the tools and the knowledge to be able to later on tackle, because the world we're in at the moment, everything's technology. Do you know what I'm saying? So if they have that from early,
Yeah.
I mean, at their age, I had a shoebox that I turned into a keyboard.
What?
Do you know, that's what I was.
Yeah, rewind
Talk me
that,
through
bro.
that one. So you, have,
Well, like,
you got a
obviously-
shoebox, you open it, and it's a keyboard.
Nah, but obviously I draw the keyboard and the
Oh,
computer.
okay, yeah. I'm with
Obviously,
you.
as a kid,
Makes
innit?
more sense now.
Nah, yeah, but
but
you-
to say that,
In
I
that
was
statement,
I was like,
I visualize a shoebox, you open it.
I'm
and there's a
expecting
keyboard.
you
I was
guys to
thinking, bruv, I
understand.
never had that. That's lit.
that, bro.
the shoebox.
But carry on with your point.
Yeah, so
there's a
basically-
big difference in how what you had and what they had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's just
Yeah.
basically for me.
Do you limit it, like their time on it, the like interaction with the iPad or whatever? Do you say, all right, you're only
Yeah,
allowed to use it?
there is limitations to it. Of course, they can't just have it 24/7.
There
Yeah.
needs to be though.
That's no,
There
I'm
needs to be,
asking. 'Cause I don't.
100%.
Yeah.
There needs to be. Yeah.
I'm scared of the iPad. I'm not at that stage yet. I'm frightened of the iPad.
They're gonna get to it.
But the way you explained it, I fully understand why.
if you
because
use it
you're going
within
with the
the right
times
way,
anyhow. If you stop them from having
I'll
it,
tell you the benefits of
Go
it.
on.
So first they had before the iPad, they had the Kindle one. I don't know what it's called, the Fire Kindle, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Kindle Fire, I think, isn't it?
Something like that.
Is
yeah.
that for books only?
No, but this is
It's a
for the
tablet.
kid. There's one specifically for kids only.
Oh, okay.
And it has no access to the internet whatsoever.
So
So,
they
it's
can
just
just
like
play with it.
games and whatever.
Yeah.
But there's interactive kid games that they can learn the alphabet. They can learn.
So they're actually
maths
learning
quick.
from it.
Yeah, they're so learning. bare stuff.
E-learning, basically.
So I don't live with my children in it. So whenever I go to them, they would always be just throwing out equation like
Yeah, and you're thinking,
mathematics, and
where,
I'm
where's
like,
this
yo,
coming from?
like-
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, it's the iPad, innit? It's the
Yeah, they've
Kindle
learned
thing,
from
innit?
it, yeah.
So they learn.
So there is benefit from it.
They benefit
Just-
from
yeah.
it. It's just obviously
He's right in a sense though, because you're correct in saying, bro, like the internet now. Could you imagine our parents trying to like now? My mom's on Snapchat, like she's active, like WhatsApp groups with her friends. But like,
WhatsApp's a problem for the parents. But
oh my god, bro, that is it is a pandemic in itself, bro.
forwarded messages I get, be careful.
And they say it's like, it's like 500
real.
people. Do you remember the fake one of the Somali girl that was abandoned in Kenya? Not to change gears too quick, but like a random one, and they found out a day later it was all fake. But it had like 500 forwards or whatever to all the parents.
What parents WhatsApp each other is crazy.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, if we put our YouTube just on that alone, it'd be like 1 million views or something. Bro.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is obviously like now you need to be ahead of the curve. I think that's what is the difference now in terms of parenting and late 90s to early 2000s. Because if you don't get with technology and social media, because each year gets faster and faster,
Yeah.
like the growth of what's happening. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You have to get on top of it. So me as a parent, as a new parent, anyhow, and West with his 2 kids now, it's his 2 daughters. Sorry, it's a case of always keeping up to date with it. But the
It's
control
different,
is scary,
when,
though, bro.
When we were younger, we lived off the Argos catalogue. Your mum was showing you the
I
Argos
love that,
catalogue.
Was it the back page with all the
And you're
games?
I
just
used to
flying
love
through the
that.
Argos catalogue.
I can
Please,
buy
can
that,
I get
I
this?
can buy
Oh,
this.
please, can I get this?
Yeah, yeah,
And it was
yeah.
always just, inshallah, yeah, no problem. You know, inshallah, yeah, no problem.
I guess
But you know what's
Because the
mad? Do you know what I
Argos
used to
catalogue,
do, yeah?
But these kids nowadays, they've got iPads and they've got gadgets
I get
and
screenshots.
making
Yeah.
phone
The
calls.
the
and
downfall to the
FaceTime.
iPad is I get screenshots of toys and that.
Oh,
This is
okay.
what I want.
They're with
So,
it.
That's
so
what
on the
I'm
next
saying,
visit,
the
if
times
I
have
don't
moved,
come with
times
bags,
have moved on. Times have
Me
moved
and my
on.
siblings we used to sit down and pretend to each other, I can't wait to get this and I can't
Yeah,
wait to get that.
yeah, I used to do
You
the
don't get nothing,
same
but
thing, bro.
you telling
The
yourself,
idea
oh,
of
I
it-
can't
the
wait to
idea
get
of
this.
it
Oh,
was
this looks
beautiful.
sick. I'm gonna get this. Which one you gonna get, bro? And everyone's running around, but you're not getting nothing. Whereas that back, that's all we had. These lot now, like you said, they FaceTime, they have iPads, they got this, they got that. The gadgets is just so much. Whereas we had things that we can touch with our hands, like just games sort of thing, weren't really taking us to the internet and
It was more
all sorts of
interactive or
things.
more
It's just-
physical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
physical
yeah.
sort of things. Whereas these lot, they're just
Hide and
everything's
seek,
interactive. It's
knock a
just
dolly.
yeah, they're just out there.
But
that's
then,
where
like,
I go back to the hybrid approach as well, yeah, because iPad alone won't cut it. You have to give them stuff that they can physically
You have to,
actually
like-
do. So like building blocks, get them Legos and stuff, things that they can
Yeah.
actually do. Because if you give them, for example, stuff like Lego, they can build stuff. Give them like obviously the portrait of it, and then they tell them to follow it.
Yeah,
You see, you're gonna
puzzles and
puzzles and
yeah.
stuff like that. If you're just gonna give the kid an iPad, you're limiting to what that kid can actually do, in a way. Does that make
I'm
sense?
following. Yeah, it makes perfect
It's
sense.
mad what they can figure out like 2-3 years. Like my nephew, when he was like 3, like he or 2, he could unlock the entire phone by
Yeah, I'm good
himself,
with
and
that.
he's going to wherever he wants.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
My mind went thinking about that at 2 years old, bro.
That's what I'm saying, but that's the benefit of having technology so early.
Yeah, your
their mind is
your
so
mind is
open to it.
unbelievable. Yeah, yeah,
By the
yeah.
time they hit in school, bruv, computers like, yeah,
Easy.
Flying, yeah,
flying.
it's true.
Whereas us, I remember was like, you're typing like that, bro. You're typing like that because you ain't got a computer at home.
What's your so like for us for anyhow, but let's say you two specifically now going into like if you were to be parents, inshallah,
Yeah.
right? What do you think would be, and even for West, we can all answer the question. What would be you think would be your toughest part of parenting? What's the part that you think you would struggle with?
I think this
That's a tough question.
for me personally, when they hit like the teens, and the later,
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
when they become like young adults.
Okay.
That, because I know that for me at that age, I was up to.
That's when you find out who you are, innit?
That's when you
Yeah,
find out
that's
who
when
you are,
find
and in
out
this
who you
day
are.
and age, right now,
Yeah.
it's crazy, innit?
And that's when you're old enough to know what you're doing, but young enough to not care.
Yeah,
Like, it's a
but-
dangerous time. Like
I
in a
was
good
gonna-
way, it's a great times, but it's dangerous
Yeah.
as a parent. Like, that would probably scare me as well. Because then, especially like daughters, because you're always like, even though you know they're smart enough and they're gonna do well, they're gonna carry themselves in a good way, but it's the people around them that you're not. That I would be shook of more so. Like,
Yeah.
but again, I don't know until I get there. That's the
Yeah,
that's
I
the
get-
reality.
I think I was going more of an angle. The two things I would say is from my own experiences of seeing myself or other people was trying to be there all the time. And that's not being married, not married. It's just a case of how life works. Like, living in London, bro, the rent, you need to work jobs that you might not want to work. You
Yeah,
have to do
facts.
overtime, traffic. You might not have as much time as you can. So we can talk about, technology and all that stuff there. But what I think was more valuable in the 90s was probably there wasn't as much distractions. But like now, because of the price of rent,
that's actually
I mean, like, there's kids now probably watching this trying to get married or whatever. They don't know how much the rent of a house is, bro, if you're living in inner London.
Yeah.
1,200-1,300 for one bedroom.
And that's just rent alone.
That's the rent. That's not your utilities.
Can't-
Forget
that's
even
nothing.
like they're thinking about the wedding and then the cast and stuff like that, bro, and how much money they put into that. Your rent alone is probably one wage. Now you have to look at both. You have to work.
But then
now.
that's why I feel like as parents,
that time is important.
no, but even as parents, it's like my dad used to always say to me, like, my job, the moment I had you lot, yeah, like the kids, my job was to make sure by the time I've left this world, I've done everything as a man and a father.
Yeah.
I.e., put you in the best position so you don't need to think about certain stresses in life.
Yeah.
Obviously, sometimes they might fall a bit short, but even if you fall short, the fact that you strived for it means you got close.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think as parents, like now West and you can probably say everything now you're doing, you've got your kids at the front of your mind now. It's like,
Yeah. Oh,
whereas before you get
every
paycheck, you
decision.
think, oh, you know what, I might get myself a little trainers. Now it's like, nah, they're getting trainers.
It's that
Yeah, for them,
focus.
I'm gonna get, or I'm gonna put that money aside for them, where it's a holiday.
Your life becomes them.
Yeah, so
If
and
The
obviously
movie that the main character, you was the main character in your movie for up until you had a
Yeah.
child. Like, I was the main character. I was Denzel in my movie.
Yeah.
The minute Mahmoud came, bro, I'm an extra that runs, in the back with like an action scene,
Yeah.
because it's not about me no more.
Of course,
right?
that's what I'm saying, and that's I learned that. Like, thank God, I've got like amazing parents as well, alhamdulillah. But like they used to more so my dad, because he's like I'm from a
Yeah,
old school traditional. My mum never worked.
Yeah.
She was she run the house.
Yeah.
My dad was the money man, like
Provider.
the breadwinner. So
Provider.
yeah, so he's gonna say that.
I was.
I'm listening to
Nah,
what
'cause
you're
he started
saying.
laughing.
These guys-
and he looked at you. So I thought,
We can't say it because that's a hit up, but that's not what I was coming for.
Wallahi, we
Wallahi,
say
never.
that.
I
You know,
don't-
you know
Hey.
I'm gonna go berserk.
No, you know what it is? The worst thing is I generally was saying it. Actually, it don't even matter. Don't
Let's
matter.
carry on.
but yeah, so he used to always tell me like, listen, everything I do is for you lot. So don't see it as it's more so when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like he used to always say no to certain things like, oh, I want a bike, I want this. And he's like, no, and then I have to go to mum on the sly and be like, oh.
Yeah.
And mum's like, I'll chat to him, don't worry, I'm patting it. And then next thing you know, you wake up, there's a bike there, or at least the money to get half of the money for the bike.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, but
Everyone did that.
yeah, but the maddest thing, when you get older, you realize, right, and now I know why he said no.
Yeah.
He took us to Morocco, so he's thinking, "Rah, I can get him a bike. He might play for it for a year or two,
Yeah.
but that holiday and seeing his
holiday
family
is
will
more
stay for him for
important.
life.
Yeah.
Facts.
And obviously, as a kid, you think, "Bun, I want the bike.
On the bike, yeah.
I want the bike. I don't want Morocco." But obviously,
Immediate
yeah.
shit,
But when you get older, I appreciated it more. So, like, and that's hopefully I'm gonna learn off him, like certain values that he showed me.
You know one thing, yeah. You know, like obviously, parents, you always appreciate your parent and love them, innit? But like when my first daughter was born, yeah, I remember I went back home. I wasn't living in London at that time, so I went back home. I went to my mum and I kissed her on the forehead and I said, "Look, I am so sorry for what I went through."
Oh,
it hit you.
Say that
Because
though,
yo,
innit?
It hit you.
because I said, "Wow."
Yeah.
You appreciate your parents when you
Yeah,
get older.
wallah, you appreciate
really
your
appreciate
parents.
Asshole.
once you have a kid.
I told my mum, I apologize, bro. I still can't apologize enough. I said, bro, I was an arsehole of the child. Like, to a point, I was such an arsehole, I knew I was an arsehole. I was aware at a baby, yeah, I'm a piece of work, bro.
So you actually, it's easy because you know I don't know if you guys have your parents say this, but my mom used to say to me as a kid, you'll know when you have kids what I went through.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've heard that one.
Translation,
regular,
you
bro.
know what I'm saying?
My mum used to say to me, the way you treat me, your kids are going to treat you the same.
I know.
Good or bad. So whatever you do to me, they're going to do to you. Good or bad. So keep that in mind.
My mum must
She used
have
to
watched
shook
this
me up with that
right
one,
now.
boy. Yeah, pick your poison.
Pick your poison. My mom's watching this right now and I know she's like, yeah, I told him.
It's true.
I told him. Right, I told him. I'm like, yeah,
true
she
though.
told me. She told me.
They were right. They were right.
Bro. But I think it's important to be around. Going back to that last point, because I want to like for parents now, there's a lot more co-parenting now. There's a lot more lack of being at home just because of like it's expensive.
Yeah.
So I think the most important thing that I think I could do as a parent is try to be as available as I can be for my kids as much as possible. You get what I'm trying to say? Because like now,
That
parenting
counts more than anything, though.
Huh?
That means more than
yeah, but
anything you could
but
ever
you have
do
to
for
be
them.
creative in that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You
that's
have
where
to
the
be
iPad comes in.
Exactly, that's creativity.
That's where the iPad. Well, that's
He's right though. That's right.
really and
bro.
true, because you know what? There's a lot of man that will be like, yeah, nah, I'm busy with work and I ain't
Yeah.
gonna go see my child this weekend, or I'm
Yeah, you can make
Yeah.
excuses.
Well, you can
Yeah.
buy you an iPad that's $5 or $8, whatever it is, and then you've got constant communication with him. There's
Exactly,
you know
whatever.
what I'm saying
Yeah.
to you? So
And
there's
you're
ways
able
about
to-
it.
There's 100% ways, but I'm saying that's what I mean by creativity is being around it. Because I think now with all the stresses of like the world itself and all the things that we just go through, it's hard to parent now because of social media and because of all the influences for a child. So the only way you can combat that is by being there as much as possible, not just physically, i.e. the iPad, but an open line of communication. So you're aware of what's going on. Because these 13-year-olds now are not the 13-year-olds back when, bro. No. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
They're now a lot older at 13 and 14.
100%. Yeah.
Than they were at 13,
Yeah,
14.
that is a fact.
Our 13
You
is
know,
not
and
yeah,
how do you
13
like
now,
you,
yeah.
was it, one of you two said now like the hardest point was mid-teens. Was it you that said that?
Me.
He said it, yeah.
Mid-teens, you're absolutely right, bro. But now a 16-year-old is moving like he's 25 or she is moving like she's 25 or whatever.
100%.
It's tough. You have to be around it. So when I like the reason I was so interested in this topic was because of the differences. Like even like new age parenting now, most of these kids, like most of these
But
parents
do you
now
think
have
it's
their kids.
easier now as well because there's so much things like available?
100%.
Like back in our day, for example, we only had play centers. That was it. And obviously football practice
yeah.
and sports, boxing or martial arts. But
Okay.
now you still got those. I don't know if you got play centers, but you've got
you do.
so much other things though, like that we never had available.
Oh yeah, play centers, there's parents.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so you still got those, plus you've got now all the other things that have come in the last 10 years, 20
Easier
years.
to parent now than
think
it was.
And there's more things to
Alright,
take
John,
your
you
children
reckon?
to. I think
I
yeah,
think it's a
I just
because-
think me and you are not aware of it because we haven't
I'll
looked
tell you
for
what,
it.
the tools,
that's
the
fair.
tools
That's what I'm saying.
available,
Whereas I think
the
it
tools
is-
available to us now as parents, our parents didn't have.
that's what I'm saying. That's
My mum,
that's the
the
angle. I'm at.
pushchair, for example, like my mum had, was so heavy, it
That's a-
caused a back problem.
Bro, you see it?
You see, right now you get a little eye candy thing. Obviously, it's a bit expensive,
But it's worth
yeah?
it. It's
But
worth it.
It's worth it, bro. It's lightweight.
Man,
Do you know how heavy a child is?
I heard how expensive
Yeah.
buggies
Yeah,
are
well,
anyway,
they
bro.
are.
I heard the
I
ridiculous
only
price.
found out last year, bro. In the pandemic, I'm
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
told. Yeah, I'm getting told price. I'm like, yo, I don't know what's going on.
till you have a second.
I
one,
had
and then you get me. You gotta get the double thing.
Oh, bro, I haven't even thought about that one yet, bro. Oh my
Problems.
god. I totally disagree with it being hard. I get what you're saying with the difference in like the push thing, the eye candy thing, for example. I get that. But like I said in the previous episode, it was simple dealing with people then, bro. It was keep them in school, keep them out of jail. As just
No, but I'm
us.
saying we're saying now there's more things for you and your child to do, or for you to get your
And
child
there's more
into.
problems now. They,
More
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah,
problems.
100%.
I think that's
There's
what I
no
think it's
they have
easier
more,
to-
bro. They have more. Like they think about life way more earlier than, bro. 17, 18.
But
I
I
don't
think
know
that's
what
down
I'm
to
thinking
you.
about.
But then-
And this is where it comes back down to you as a parent and who you are
Yeah.
as an
Ooh, I like this.
individual.
Go
I
on.
like it. Because first and foremost, if you've got Dean, this is what I fundamentally believe in. you'll be able to raise your child correctly, because you're gonna take your child, if you're constantly banging out music in front of your child and putting them in scenarios, he's just gonna learn off what you're doing. You're gonna see him doing the Wallahi, I'm being serious though.
Oh, I like
Wallahi.
there's flips to it.
Kids are a product of their environment.
I've seen some
Kids-
families where they grow up just listening to Quran and whatever.
Kids
whatnot,
are a
and then
product
they
of their
don't
environment.
visit
Not kids are a product of their environment.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything. Obviously, the music. Everyone listens to music, innit? But there has to be a balance for the child.
Have you done any TikTok with your kids?
Never.
Are you gonna do it?
You never. Are you mad?
What do you think, Daddy? Please,
Never.
you're not gonna do it.
They will
You know
never
what's
usher
mad though,
those words
yeah?
to me.
But you know what's
mean,
mad
what?
though?
They went to the over the weekend. They had their first class of Duxie, bro. You mad?
That was cute. I
I'm
see
trying,
that.
I'm trying to. Do you know what it is?
Install the fundamentals.
I want the
from young.
fundamentals to be there,
And then-
but also for them to have fun.
Yeah,
Do
you don't
get
want
what
it
I'm
to be a
saying to you?
chore.
So
It
it's-
can't feel like a chore.
If I start them off early right now on TikToks, all they're gonna ask is TikToks. Dad, let's do that.
Yeah.
They're more
But Sharp
interested
is right,
in
though.
than that.
But
Then-
Sharp is right in the sense of like, bro, all of us have seen households where it's
I've
the most
seen many
religious
households, bro.
and that you,
moment
that
they
you
step
female
outside,
or male
16,
is
17,
wilding, bro.
gone.
Wilding.
They're gone. Like, you can't bring that person back.
But you can also say there's households that are gone, and
And
that
that you
kid
send
comes
is
out as a
attached.
chef.
Yeah, facts. Wallahi.
Like, so I think it's the individual.
It depends on the child.
It depends on the child, but also I think Wes said it.
I think it depends on. Go on.
No, because I was gonna say Wes hit the nail on the head, and I can only speak for myself, but you lot tell me if you feel the same. I never had that friendship with my parents, as in
Yeah.
I could go to them and be like, "Oh, Dad, you know what? This was." I never.
I had that.
And I think nowadays, though, most
My
kids
dog,
have
tell
it.
everything.
That's the thing.
I think
yeah.
nowadays
Yeah.
most because we're the parents, so we're
Yeah.
still a bit young. We consider ourselves still. We know what's going. Like we know what going to get it. So I
Just
can
to
chat
hold
to
you
my
there for a
youth.
second, because you're right.
Yeah.
And I want you to carry on. I was saying the kids get older, the adults have gotten younger now.
Yeah, but because of that, you've got a
the
friendship.
30 yeah.
Because of that, you've
Yeah,
got a
go on, Bond.
friendship.
Yeah, yeah.
So earlier when you said, because they're like 13-year-olds now are not what they used to
yeah,
be.
yeah, no,
So there's more problems, but. There's a solution to it. It's us. We're younger, so we
Yeah.
can chat to them and be like, listen. I know your man them are doing this, but bro, trust me. Like you say, bro, to your own son, but you can run that because that's
Let
the
me
way
chat to you,
talk.
dog.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Whereas if I was chatting to my dad, it'll be like regiment, like I look down,
Head down,
Yeah.
talking
body language
like he's
correct.
talking to me, body language correct, and then just accept it. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm not gonna argue, just accept it, and then I go to my room and start swinging. Like that film, and start punching up the pillow. Start punching up the pillow, bro. Start punching up the pillow that you're vexed.
Like, sometimes you want to slam that door, but you can't because if you slam
You gotta shut it quietly,
You're
'cause
asking for round
otherwise
two.
it's coming in after.
That's round two pending. But you know what I'm saying? But now you can actually have that friendship, and you can go to like your son or your daughter, sit down with them and say, "Listen, like talk to me, innit?" And they'll feel comfortable to tell you like the truth.
That's why it's important.
We never had
to
that,
have
so I think-
friendship with your children.
Yeah,
I mean,
bring them
I was lucky
closer.
in a sense.
I
Like,
agree
me
to
and
that,
me and my mum were friends. Like me and my mom's my friend.
Yeah.
I don't tell her everything, of course not. Like life is life, but she's genuinely someone I was like, yo, especially when I was younger. Not so much now. Now I'm like I'm so introverted at home, but like that's my friend in it. But that's what I want to have with my son. Like just that.
Yeah.
But you're right in saying there has to be a hybrid in it. There has to be adaptation in terms of the parenting. I mean, I've seen parents now on TikTok or Snapchat with their kids. I don't judge them, or I never judge a parent what they do. It's not something I could ever do, right? But same ways they're with their kid, they're close. So it's beautiful in the sense
beautiful,
of like the kids having the time of their life.
And that kid
so
will have a
how's
deep
that wrong?
relationship with that parent. Of
course. That's what I'm saying.
Would you not be?
And more
would you partake
time-
in that? Would you ever do that? Like have your family on like Snaps or Insta, and it's like
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
no, I don't think. Would you do it?
I
I
would.
wouldn't. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
I think
really like that,
I think
but
I would. Yeah, I
Wait,
think I
have
would.
them on Snap and Insta.
No, like you know the.
No, if they told me to get involved, I'll get involved.
Yeah,
for
but
the
that's
bands.
the type of my personality.
Yeah, for the
You
band.
know me.
And you know what as well?
100%
Because
like,
I want to create those memories where one day they're gonna grow up
Yeah.
and we're not gonna be here, and then they're gonna look back and say, "Nah, this is like." They're gonna show their kids.
Yeah.
Like, inshallah, we are here. But do you know what I mean? Like, life, we all know how it
I
works.
think that's
So
my toughest battle, though. I think that for me, that would be the toughest thing is because you don't know how I am anyhow, how stubborn I am. So me not being old school, do you know, like how we grew up, how the ends was for us, yeah, and being able to jump on a TikTok with my son. You know, like I hope he doesn't want to do that, but if he did, like, Daddy, I really want to do this new thing.
I would
I should
pay money
get
to
involved.
I think you would get involved.
yeah, I think
I
you
would
get
get
involved.
involved.
I think you
I
get
would
involved.
get involved.
But I know how I'm built. I don't think I need to
you
do a
would
lot
do
of
it.
work on myself to be able to be that kind of person.
no.
But yeah, I don't think I
I
would.
think
But
you
you
would
got to
do it.
remember as well. I feel like
But I'll do anything for the little man. So you most likely I'll do it.
like the older like my parents got, the softer they got as well.
Yeah.
And so that might be us as well,
Bro.
That might be us. Obviously,
Just to
again,
end on this, my mum, and I wanted to hear this, bro. She does not think I exist anymore. She just wants my son. As soon as he was born,
Yeah.
she told me and my wife, she went,
You're not important no
Aaron,
more.
both of you guys can do whatever you want. Just bring him to me.
Yeah.
Just go. Just leave him with me.
Yeah, bless
That's
her.
my mom. That's mommy,
Mama.
bro. That's Mama Ev. She's like, no, let's leave him with me. But no, I think we're right. I think we're cool in the sense of the parenting thing. I think it's a hybrid. I think it's a case of just, making sure that you do as much as you can. Also
Take the
adapting to
best
times.
from both worlds.
That's it.
And
I think
run with it.
the perseverance that our parents had is something I would want to take. Like, bro, them times are tough. Not just because of the Civil War, but just like for any ethnic group,
Yeah.
right? It's
Come
tough
into
in the
a country,
90s.
you don't know the
Literally, like you
language.
said, the
There's so much
perseverance,
Yeah.
the
hard working,
the hard working, the mindset,
strong mindset.
the values, and then the other side is the friendship,
Yeah.
the being young, being able to
Yeah,
banter
yeah,
with them.
yeah.
That's the blend you need.
Just talking about the values, I think what's very, very important is the deen. Like you've got to install the deen into that, but you can only do that like if you're showing your child. Like if you're
Lead from
praying,
example.
lead by example. If you're
Yeah.
praying, like the child, get the child to pray with you.
Facts.
Have the child pray beside you. They don't know what they're doing. I didn't know what I was
Yeah,
doing, but
yeah.
but it will just carry on. It will carry on later on, and then when they're older, you can start making them aware of, okay, this is what you're meant to read and so forth.
No, you have to, because the more they see you doing it, the more naturally they want to do it. But you don't want to be that parent that's telling your child to do something and you're not really
You're not really
doing it.
No, I'm with it.
Do you know what I mean?
I think we covered all bases on that one, but that was cool. That's a
Insightful.
lot of good points. That's insightful. And from there, thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you lot next week.